The climactic crescendo of the MCU, known as Avengers Endgame, was filled to the brim with the noble sacrifice and selfless heroics by our veteran MCU mainstays. Natasha Romanoff gave her life for the Soul Stone. Tony Stark made the ultimate sacrifice by using his final moments to dust Thanos and his army via the use of the Infinity Gauntlet. But one sacrifice has been often overshadowed by these two in particular. Just before the climactic battle and Thanos' invasion of the main timeline, Professor Hulk uses the Infinity Gauntlet to snap back half of the population of the universe. Using the Hulk's strength and Bruce Banner's mind, Professor Hulk was able to overcome the drastic energy surge from the might of the Infinity Gauntlet, despite suffering severe damage to his right arm as a result of the snap. In the MCU, we recently got another glimpse at Bruce Banner after an unspecified amount of time since the events of Avengers Endgame, but by this point in his life, he has once again separated his personality from the body of the Hulk, yet he is still wearing an arm sling. It can be reasonably assumed that the division took a substantial amount of time, meaning that Professor Hulk's healing factor seemed to do virtually nothing to heal Bruce's injured arm. Recently, the directors of Endgame, Joe and Anthony Russo, have gone on record to talk about the severity of the Hulk's injury and the scope of the sacrifice that he made in bringing back half of the population. So stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we delve into the Russo's comments on the situation and explore the fallout of this heroic action to see what might lie ahead of Banner and the Hulk specifically, and again how this injury might become a permanent mainstay of his character and situation. Today, we will be breaking down and taking a look at two main quotes from Joe Russo, the first of which is as follows. He's lost an arm. He lost Natasha. That's not coming back. He's damaged himself. I don't know. It's very interesting. That's permanent. That's permanent damage, the same way that it was permanent damage with Thanos. It's irreversible damage. His arm, if you notice, is a lot skinnier. It's blackened, so he loses a lot of strength there. As the director specifically states, he intended for this injury to be permanent at this time, though he would later go on to state that it's now up to someone else as to whether or not to fix the Hulk's arm, but more on that in a minute. The severity of this injury for Banner is a constant reminder of not only his sacrifice, but everything he's lost according to Joe Russo, and he will likely have to carry this injury with him for the foreseeable future. In a previous video, we theorized that the Hulk is able to bring Bruce Banner back from the dead and heal his body by transforming into the Hulk. For a full breakdown on this, see our video on how the Hulk cannot be killed. But the idea of this video might also play a substantial role in this situation as well. Now that Banner has reverted to his human form, it is likely that we will see another transformation scene in which the Hulk will emerge once again. From here, it is a question of whether or not our previous theory is true and the Hulk will heal Banner. If our theory holds weight, then the transformation could, in theory, heal Bruce Banner's arm when he reverts back to his original Banner form. If this theory is not true, however, and the damage carries over to the Hulk while in his Hulk form, this could create a compelling character challenge for a figure who is widely regarded as the strongest there is. The Hulk could have to come to terms with his limited strength throughout the She-Hulk series, or possibly even seek out other solutions. Joe Russo has stated that while he and his brother Anthony had no intention of healing the Hulk's arm, they are not opposed to anyone else doing so in the near or distant future. He goes on the record again to state this. Maybe someone helps him repair it. Maybe someone gives him a new arm. I have no idea where that character goes from here. The nice thing is we didn't have to pay attention to where it's going or where it goes after this. We just try to tell a satisfying ending. This leaves the door open for the producers and director of She-Hulk series to find a way to either heal the Hulk of his injury or to use it to develop his character further and make for an interesting physical obstacle, especially for a character who's so inherently physically gifted. It seems as though if the directors choose to heal the Hulk, there are multiple believable ways to do it that wouldn't be too far from outside the realm of possibility. In the comics, the Hulk has an incredible healing factor that even rivals that of Wolverine or Deadpool, and the writers could explain that with Bruce at the helm during the Professor Hulk phase, the healing factor was suppressed or in some way inhibited. They could also use the transformation theory that we mentioned earlier to explain how his arm can heal and why it took so long, seeing as the Hulk hasn't been truly awakened since the events of the snap. It is important to note that while Banner claims he merged his and the Hulk's mind, there is no evidence throughout the course of Endgame to hint that the Hulk's personality is present at all. His body is his dominant contribution in this scenario, but his mind and character are all but silent as Bruce appears to be fully in control. There are also popular fan theories that claim the Hulk might get a metal arm at some point, reminiscent of his World War Hulk gladiator armor that he wore in Thor Ragnarok. Only instead of a metal arm plate, his entire arm may be made of metal. Though this is largely speculative, it is interesting to at least entertain the possibility. Overall, the Russos seem to have intended for the Hulk to sustain severe permanent damage as a direct result of his sacrifice, and whether or not this decision is remedied by a future director is out of their hands. Whether or not we see the Hulk heal and how remains to be seen in the upcoming She-Hulk series set to release in 2022. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of these quotes? Would you like to see Banner and the Hulk deal with the consequences of this injury in the long run, or would you prefer to see the arm healed in the near future? If you would like to see it healed, how do you think it will be done? And if it cannot be healed, how do you think Savage Hulk would react to this? As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. It means a lot to us. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.